Well, our next guest debated at Oxford Union last year, host of the Winston Marshall Show, Winston Marshall. Winston, it's great to have you on the show tonight. So you're an interesting perspective on this because you face sort of a cancellation yourself after praising Annie No's book, Unmasked Inside Antifa's Radical Plan to Destroy Democracy. Should this man resign or sort of, taking back and reminding yourself of where you were? What do you make of this conversation we're having today about speech and the limitations to it, if there should be any?
I'd just like to start by saying that you might be hearing stories such as this one in the United States and worrying about the mood from Britain. And this actually misrepresents the mood here. There were vigils for Charlie being held in Westminster and Parliament Square. And even our Prime Minister put out a lovely message for the Kirk family and sending condolences. This character we're talking about, the president-elect of the Oxford Union, said some horrific things in a WhatsApp group after the death of Charlie Kirk, celebrating the death. And this is, we've seen this from a lot of people and horrifying messages around the world from those on the political left. What's so striking, of course, is that he is the president-elect of Oxford Union. Now, when I debated at the Oxford Union against Nancy Pelosi, we all had dinner before, and at the dinner, we raise our glasses for free speech. And here is a man who thinks that assassination is an acceptable response to people with whom he has different opinions. So then the question is, should someone who represents the most famous debating society in the world have those opinions and profess those opinions? And actually, it doesn't look great for him, with many members of the Oxford Union now stepping up and intending to say he's not fit for the job.
Winston, this also has a little bit of a personal touch for me. I was there at the Union years ago debating against the premise that the United States was institutionally racist. And then the young woman who was the president at the time was fair. The Union was fair. We presented our points. They voted by going out the doors respectively. And I remember conversations with the bursar and others in the pub afterwards, which I know you know about, where it was conversations between me and a former Black Panther. We had this openness about it. One thing that's happened is the secretary of the Oxford Literary Debating and Union Trust, James Price, has resigned from his position. Do you think that carries any weight? Will there be more to this? Will there be a conversation by the bursar?
Well, that's a good question. I don't have insight into the institution itself, but certainly we can expect that this story will continue. I'm not sure. You bring up cancel culture earlier, and it's a very interesting one. Normally, when we've seen cancel culture before, as in my case, it's when people say something that is, let's say, for example, J.K. Rowling, or in my case, it was me calling out political violence from the left, very fitting actually for this story. But that was not relevant to my position in the band. The difference here is the single point of this institution is to encourage free speech, but it seems as if he stands against it. It's a paradox that is very difficult to get around, and actually, it's not entirely clear what's the best way forward. The Oxford Union are in a bit of a bind here, because if they stand by free speech, they should allow him to say these things. But on the other hand, how can he possibly be the face?
Winston, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we have to end here. Hundreds of years of history are being disgraced by this young man.
Winston Marshall, we appreciate that. Very thoughtful conversation.
Thank you, Winston.